I am going to make some curry. I call it half Thai kitchen, and this is the kind of lazy way. We're not making it from scratch. We're not sitting on the floor with a crook and sock or what you guys would say a mortar and pestle until all hours of the night and blending the kaffir lime leaves and galanga root from scratch. Instead, we're going to be a little bit lazy and use some red curry paste. I'm just making red. You can get any kind of paste that you want. There's green, red, yellow, mussaman, different flavors. So I'm just going to use the basic red because it was in my cupboard. This is coconut milk, and that is my first step. I am going to put the coconut milk in the pot. I put the coconut milk in the pot. I poured the whole can. Doesn't matter what kind, whatever kind you want. Coconut milk, but it should be just coconut milk. And I have it on 7, well, higher than medium. And I'm going to cook that down for a long time until it is almost clear. I have some boiling water here, as I am going to chop up some beans from the garden next door. I sprouted some long beans. So I am going to throw you can throw any vegetables you want. You can cook any vegetables you want. This is just what's in my garden. And I'm going to use chicken, but you can use tofu, you can use pork, you can use beef. If you do use tofu, I would suggest deep frying it first or air frying it first so it's crispy before you throw it into your recipe in lieu of whatever meat or non-meat or vegetables that you choose. So basically, I am going to boil some beans, and that's just to get them so they're not crispy and I don't have to do a lot of work. So these are Thai beans. They're like the long or Chinese long beans. And then I'm going to throw some of this Thai thing. I forget the name of the green that is. A Thai pumpkin that I cooked earlier. This is just baked. So whatever cooked vegetables or whatever vegetables that you have, and they don't even have to be cooked, you can cook them into the recipe as well. It just takes longer. So I'm just doing a shortcut version. Here is my coconut milk, and it is boiling. That's exactly what I want it to do. You can stir it, but basically it's going to take quite some time. It kind of smells strange as it's cooking, so just be aware and know that it will smell very ethnic in your kitchen as you make this recipe. And so I have my coconut milk boiling, I have some beans cooking, already cooked, not cooked chicken, and it doesn't matter what kind of meat you use. This is a red curry paste. It is just something I got at the store for like $1 something, and or $2, I don't know, it's not very expensive. Much cheaper than if you go out to eat curry, but it does take a lot of time. So yeah, aunties and grandmas will cook, or they'll make this stuff from scratch. I choose not to because it takes a lot of time, and they're usually smushing up all the ingredients in something like a larger version of this. Not going to happen today. So while these are cooking, normally you can prep your vegetables. I already have mine pre-prepped. So this coconut milk, I'm going to probably cook it down for at least 20 minutes. And okay, so you can see that the coconut milk is getting cooked down. It's kind of changing colors. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it's kind of cooking a little bit too brown. I don't really want it to do this where it's sticking to the thing. So I'm going to turn it down. It doesn't really matter. It's fine. So I'm going to scrape it off there. It's really thick now. And I'm kind of waiting still. I want it to be more of a clear color. So I turned it down to about 4.5, so it's still bubbling. Took the beans out. Now they're sitting on the side. And now I'm starting to notice, I wish I had a better light right here, that it's getting a little clear, and this is kind of what I'm waiting for, is this coconut milk to kind of change to a kind of a clearer color. And it smells really strong. It smells like sugar, I guess, because there is definitely a sweetness or a change in the texture of this coconut milk. So I'm just going to let it cook. I mean, I want to just go to the next step, but I know that this is kind of the crucial thing, is to wait until this coconut milk is cooked, until it's changed its texture and consistency, and you can tell now that it's like a totally different, it's definitely becoming more clear, and this is what I want when I'm playing with it here. So, and it's like, you can see like the oil is separating, and that is perfect. So now that my coconut milk has changed and scrape all the brew, I guess is what that kind of stuff is, onto the bottom. I'm going to, oh, it's perfect. See this, all this clear liquid, yay. Okay, now for the next step. This is when we add our curry paste. It doesn't matter what color, what kind, it's all done the same way. Here's my clear liquid coconut stuff. If you are making it for children, you use, or someone who can't handle spicy, use half a can. If you like super spicy, use the whole can. Sometimes with children, actually we'll do 2 cans of coconut milk, but it does take twice as long to get to this clear consistency. So I am going to add the curry base, and this is really strong, like the smell is like whoa. And I'm going to make it for myself and a teenager, so I use like almost the whole can, but it doesn't need to be so super spicy. There's peppers in here, so you don't have to add any peppers. And now I mix the curry sauce with the coconut milk that's been cooked down. And this is where you just let it cook down a little bit to where those two kind of marry one another, and you can kind of see it's still, the coconut milk is still doing that oil separation thing, which is good. That's what you want. And then as soon as some of these peppers and this cooks down a tiny bit, I'm going to add my chicken. And I also, so it took probably about 20-25 minutes for that coconut to cook down. And so that's where the hour comes in, and then once this cooks, it's probably going to take 10 to 20 minutes for this chicken to cook properly. in this curry mixture. And so I don't know, and then after that it's not too much. And I'm going to be stirring occasionally. So it's been cooking for a few minutes, and now I'm going to stir it and just make sure everything's all nice and covered with the sauce and the flavor. So here I am coming to check on my curry, and not really curry yet, it's just chicken cooking in coconut and curry paste. And it's been about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I let it cook down a little bit more. You can kind of see the chicken is looking like it's getting a little soft. And here's that separation stuff happening, which is totally exactly what I want. And going to continue to let that cook. Okay, so now my chicken is cooking with the chili paste. I'm going to add a little more coconut milk. So I'm just going to add one more can of coconut milk and see how that separates. And I'm just going to let it cook down and let it cook for about 10 more minutes. And I felt like I was ripping you off if I didn't stir it a little bit, so you want to stir it a little bit so you can kind of see it blending, and it actually looks pretty cool. But I don't want to stir it too much because I want that chicken to really absorb that curry flavor paste. Okay, so here is our curry boiling. I am going to stir it. It is starting to look like curry. Basically, the secret of really excellent curry is to actually let it sit overnight before you eat it, because it will be delicious fresh, but there is just something about it, like chili and certain sauces, that are best after they sit overnight. I don't know why, but it will be delicious fresh. I'm going to add my vegetables. This has been cooking and soaking, or cooking for over 20 minutes. So now I'm just going to add some green beans, and these were those long beans that I cooked, and I'm going to add some pumpkin because I have it on hand, and then I forget what this is called, some sort of green thing, and kind of let those absorb the flavors as well. And they don't really need to cook down too much because I already cooked them, but if you threw them in raw, then I would let it cook for another 20 minutes until the vegetables were soft. But I'm doing this kind of a fast forward way. And then the last thing is the basil. This is from my garden and my dad's garden, and I just throw the basil in there and stir it, and turn off the heat and cover it up for about 10 minutes, and it will be ready. Before I add sugar, I'm going to go ahead and taste it first. Good. A little spicy. Woohoo. So I'm going to add, I think, just a tad of sugar, tiny bit. Tiny bit. And on top of rice, it'll kind of take away that kick. Maybe as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more of a wuss. But I believe it's done. And now I will take a bite to make sure that I don't poison you guys.